Alright, so everybody, welcome to another video, and unfortunately it has now been confirmed that the next mainline update has been delayed, so it is not coming this week. However, we know it's coming soon, so it's probably going to be out next week, and we can at least take a look at what's coming with this mainline update, because there's quite a lot of stuff in there. So the update is going to be called the Old Blood. It's going to introduce a new Warframe, one that we've seen multiple times on a dev stream, the girthy boy Grendel, and his gimmick is eating enemies, storing them in his gut, and then puking them out again. Now, Grendel is of course going to come with a signature weapon, and this time around it's going to be melee. It's the Masseter, you know, the kebab crank thing. This thing in the picture. Now at the same time, this update is also going to introduce the Vauban and Ember rework, both of which we've seen showcased on a dev stream before, so we know how they work, and the best way to describe them without going on for too long is that they both keep their theme, so Vauban is still the engineer guy, and Ember is still all about that fire, but they have been tweaked and reworked in places to slot into the game that Warframe is now much better, which generally nowadays means that the Warframe either gets a ton of tankiness or a ton of AoE damage. And this time around, the Wheel of Fortune landed on big-ass AoE damage, so Vauban is getting an Orbital Strike, and Ember has a new fourth ability that is still fire-themed, but instead of sort of just poofing fire all around her, she now calls down meteors from the sky. Now there's of course more changes to them, like Vauban's Bastille and Vortex being rolled into one, but I think the Orbital Strike and the Meteor Shower are kind of like the highlights of this. And then we're also going to get a new companion type, and it's going to be kind of like the Helmet Charger, but instead of being Kavat based, it's going to be Kubro based, and it's going to be the Vaska Kavat, the Vampire Kitty. And then come the two things that I personally consider to be like the big stuff. So we're going to get Melee 3.0 Phase 2. Now this is going to reintroduce the melee stance, so once again if you hold down the weapon swap key you'll be able to go into a full-on melee mode, thank god, so you'll be able to manually block and even in-glide with melee weapons. However, it is still going to retain the melee system that we have now, so if you tap a quick attack you're still gonna go into that melee stance, but you'll be able to switch back by aiming down sights or firing. So you'll be able to choose, which is absolutely fantastic, so if you want to you can still switch back and forth, but if you want to go full melee you can do that too. It's also going to do a full sweep of melee weapons and rebalance them, so let's hope they will buff more than they will nerf. Then they are completely changing the way combos work, and that goes for both stances as well as the combo counter. Now it sounds good, but I'm not willing to say yay or nay before I got my hands on it, so here's what I have to say. The combo system received a wide array of changes, including more intuitive combos for melee stances, a combo counter rework, and smoother combo transitions to keep your flow going. Sounds good, right? Especially since some combos are just not that great, and you can trust me, I know a thing or two about combos. I've learned to execute every single combo from every single stance in the game because I did a series for it on YouTube. Some combos are just stiff, they're not as good as the others, they don't flow very well. There's either a break at the start, in the middle, sometimes multiple times in the middle, and sometimes at the end, so your Warframe is kind of just staggering forward while flailing around. So making it more fluid is of course a good thing, right? Well, that kind of depends, because the thing about melee is that it can sound good when someone is explaining it to you, it can look good when they're showcasing it on a dev stream, but the most important thing about it is that it has to feel good. So while reading about it makes me optimistic, and seeing it on a dev stream also makes me optimistic, I am still hesitant because I have no idea if it feels good. And the combo counter change is a pretty big one as well, because it will now be a spendable resource that you can use to do heavy attacks. Now these are going to be executed via the secondary fire button, so you build up your combo, then you press the secondary fire button, you spend the combo and you do more damage. And we will also be able to do heavy slam attacks, which are similar to normal slam attacks, but you need to press the secondary fire button once again to initiate them. And it's also going to allow you to take advantage of the new mid-air madness system, where you can actually do combos in mid-air. It's not just going to be a simple air attack anymore, and juggle enemies if you want to as well, because now you can actually throw enemies up into the air and juggle them with certain attacks. And the second massive addition with this update is going to be the Kuvah Lich system. And what this is, well, quite frankly, an awesome system, I think, that's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. And it's kind of like a combination of the Nemesis system from the Shadow of Mordor games, but the way it's present on the star chart kind of reminds me of the way Elder oozes his way around the Atlas in Path of Exile. And to top it all off, you're gonna have an Assassin's Creed-like finisher blade that you will have to use to extract information from the Lich's underlings to figure out how you can actually defeat the Lich. Now, from what I understand, the Liches are going to be semi-random, so you will have some form of influence over what they turn out to be. And one example of this was that if you create this Lich with Ember, so you kill a dude and he becomes a Lich, he'll be fire-themed and that kind of stuff. So they will have their weaknesses and strengths and quirks, but for me the most interesting thing is the randomly generated weapon that they get assigned, because the weapon is going to be influenced by the type of Lich that's carrying it. So if once again you spawn a heat or fire-based Lich with Ember and he gets assigned a Braton randomly, it's going to be a heat-infused Braton that you can actually get by defeating the Lich, and I think that's a really cool idea. Oh yeah, and oh my god, I have no idea how I almost forgot about this. This is pretty huge as well. We're also getting an exilus slot for primary and secondary weapons, and it's called the exilus, of course. Hey boss, what are we gonna call the new exilus slot for the primaries? Well, you see, Billy, it's an exilus for a primary, so the exilus, of course. Well, yeah, but isn't that too obvious, though, boss? Perhaps. Perhaps. Make it work for secondaries as well. Oh my god, boss, you're a genius. I love the way they name things in this game. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the big stuff, so I thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you some other time. Bye-bye.